Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another movement and mobility session with Heafner Health. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on the upper back, shoulder, and then all the way down into the forearm, wrist, and hand. Now, for today's routine, you need a soft tissue ball, a foam roller, and then I'm going to show some things on a chair, but you can even use the ground, or you can use a table, really like a desk or anything, because I want these to be transferable to your activities outside of here. What we're going to be doing later on is stuff like this, where we're working there. So you can also do it from the ground, but it's just whatever is most comfortable for your body position. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to get that out of the way. The first thing I want you to do today is we're going to bring together this theme of connecting the shoulder and upper body area down to the wrist and hand. So first, with both arms out, turn your thumbs down and then try to raise your arms all the way up overhead. See what that feels like. Don't injure yourself, but kind of take some inventory at the top. Bring your hand down. Now turn your thumbs up and then repeat and do the same thing. Ask yourself which one was easier, and hopefully the answer is the second one. And the reason is that when your thumbs are up, you have way more shoulder motion. This closes off the shoulder. And we see those same things with different movements in our life that we're going to go over today. So the first movement, go into a kneeling position. And I'm going to start on my right side, and we're going to use the foam roller, but we're going to use it a little bit differently than we normally do. The movement is my left hand's going to be down on the ground. I'm going to reach out and stretch all the way overhead using the foam roller. We're going to do 10 that way, and then we're going to do 5 with an added side body stretch. Let's get started. On the right side, I'm comfortably in a 3-point stance. Reach all the way out, stretch the arm, getting length across the bottom part of the shoulder blade and the delt, the lats, and then back. On and off. We can go a little bit faster. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. If your foam roller is slipping, I would recommend putting some sort of towel or something that has less friction than maybe like a hardwood floor. 2 more here. Last one, and staying on the same side, we're going to reach up overhead and then let the foam roller draw over towards your left side so you're getting a side body stretch across there, and then back. Just 4 more here where we're incorporating that bigger side body stretch. 3 more. Last 2. With this one, keep your core engaged, but you can let your hips rock over to the right side as you do this last one to really emphasize the stretch across the side body. And then switch sides. Again, starting off with 10 shoulder reaches all the way. It's natural to compare your left to your right here, and maybe you're feeling different things on the left side versus the right side, but really don't worry too much about it at this phase. We got 5 more, 4, 3, and then in 2 more, we're going to add in the side body stretch. And for 5, now I'm bringing the foam roller over to my right side, letting it roll that way as I'm increasing the length. Keep going there. We have 5 repetitions here as I'm increasing the length across there by reaching over. So I'm stretching the foam roller over. 2 more. Last one. You can set the foam roller aside and grab onto your soft tissue ball. We're going to hit 2 different spots across the middle back, and we're going to add in movement with each one. Where we're going is spots that we've been before with other routines. So if here's my shoulder blade in the back, we're going to start there and then work our way up to the top part. And we're going to do that on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. As always, take some inventory, see how this feels today as the ball is rolling around on the middle back area. A question that I commonly get is this right, or am I doing it right or wrong with the soft tissue work? And not to simplify it too much, but really don't worry so much about the right versus wrong. If you're feeling different things and then you're doing the movements properly afterwards, that's the most important part. So here I'm in between my spine and my shoulder blade and those big muscles that run down the middle of your back. Just seeing what this feels like here. Once you found a good tender point on that first spot, draw in your abdominals so you're tucking your hips under, and then looking straight up at the ceiling, tuck your chin down, but don't lose the pressure on the ball. And we're going to go on and off, just tucking our chin or retracting the chin back towards the ground, trying to lengthen the back of the neck, and then relax. Keep your core engaged the entire time. And as you tuck your chin, I want you to try to feel more pressure into the ball. What our bodies naturally want to do is lift through the rib cage as you tuck your chin, and don't let that happen. We still have about 30 more seconds here, so if you want to move the ball a bit or get more comfortable, do whatever you need. Remember to keep the core engaged. I find it's a little bit easier if I tuck my hips under. That lengthens and puts more pressure across the ball. 5 more on this side. 3, 2, last one. And then go up to the second spot. So now, between the shoulder blade on the inside and the spine. And once again, do whatever you need to do to get comfortable and to integrate these muscles into the overall picture of your body today. You can see I'm starting to do some small shoulder rolls with my arm, and we're going to go into this sort of movement in just a second. So I'm just priming the action of doing whatever I need to loosen up these muscles as we go into the bigger movement. When you found that point of tension, I want you to reach your arm across your body. So I'm on my right side, I'm reaching over to my left, and then doing big circles all the way up over my head, out and around. And as I roll that arm back around, I really feel pressure on the ball in a good way. Remember, I don't want any numbness or tingling or any sort of nerve pain or deep achy pain. Really what I want is this muscular tension pain, almost as if you're getting a deep tissue massage. In 3 seconds, we're going to switch sides and do our switch directions of the circle. Big circles the opposite way. So before I was going clockwise, and now I'm doing big circles counterclockwise. And it might feel like a completely different movement because we're changing around where the ball is receiving tension along the muscles. 5 more here. 3, 2, last one. And then bring the ball over to the other side. So once again, I'm starting on the lower part of the shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and the spine. And initially, do what you need to do to get comfortable on the ball. If you want to move your shoulder blade back and forth, if you want to tuck your hips under, we have about 15 seconds of this play time where we're just figuring out what is feeling best today. As you're getting situated, draw in your abdominals and tuck your hips under so you're locking down the lower body. Now, lift your head if you need to because you're lengthening your neck and going into that chin tuck position, and then relaxing. Tuck your chin and relax. Tuck your chin and relax. Keep going on and off. I want you to continue with this one, and this might feel somewhat awkward. And especially if you're someone who naturally their head arches back, or if it's hard to get your head to the ground, you can always get a small towel or a blanket and put it underneath your head, and that will help bridge the gap and give you more length without you having to really reach back towards the ground. So if you need that modification, feel free to go into that. Do 3 more here, 2 more, and then on the last one, bring the ball up to the second location on the left side. Once again, 15 or 20 seconds of just the free time. Do what feels good. Oftentimes for me, moving my knees back and forth will just gently place different pressures across the ball. I'm also adding in some torso rotation here, which feels pretty good. And once you find that spot that feels good, let's go with some big circles. Now, it doesn't matter if you start out, if the circles are going across your body in a way, or vice versa, clockwise or counterclockwise, because we're going to do both sides. What's really, I think, a problem with society and fitness and workouts is that we always try to judge and grade everything. So we do these 30-minute workouts in the gym, or like a 45-minute spin class or something. We never really have time just for free, fun movement. And when a movement is always graded or dictated, then there's no time to really explore just what feels good. Switch directions. So now I'm doing big circles as I reach out and then up overhead and around my body, each time putting pressure on the ball through different ranges of the circle. If you want to let your fingertips trace along the ground as they go across your body, that's fine. If you want to keep it in the air and hold that point of tension, that's good too. 3 more. 2. Last one. That feels good there. And then put the ball aside. Since most of you are familiar with these routines now, you know that we do a foam roller or a soft tissue exercise, and then we do the active movement afterwards. So the movement to complement that is, and you can do this in a sitting position, you can do it kneeling like me, you can do it in a tall kneeling position. It doesn't matter too much. But the next motion then is going to be, since I was started on my right side, I'm going to bring my right arm across my body, and we're going into a tricep stretch. But the real movement here then is pulling the shoulder blades down and squeezing them back together. And that's going to increase the stretch across my tricep and back shoulder area. So relax there, squeeze the shoulder blades down and back again, and relax. On, off, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Because I want you to feel that connection of how stretching out the arm is intensified simply by moving the shoulder blades back together and relax. So as I pull my shoulder blades down and back, I get a lot bigger stretch across there. We have 5 more on this side, and then we'll switch sides. 3, 2, last one. Shake it out if you need to. And then switch sides. So I'm bringing my left arm across, and then I'm taking myself into a stretch position here. And as you can see, I'm almost like drawing my shoulder blade forward. So to counteract that, pull the shoulder blade down and back, and then relax. Pull the shoulder blade down and back, and relax. At all times, there's a little bit of a stretch, and then I'm intensifying it by drawing the shoulder blades back together. We have roughly 10 more on this side. Let's go 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. And then after you finish that one, grab the foam roller and go into an all fours position. And this will be a new movement. So what you're going to see here is I'm starting in this all fours position. I'm going to be working the right side. So I bring my left arm way out over to the left. And then the back of my right hand is starting on the foam roller. And then I'm gonna reach over and across and roll the foam roller all the way along the back side of my arm up to the back of the shoulder and then back. This is the major movement for this. So if you're wondering what's going to happen next, this is all of it here. So put as much pressure as you want across the back of the triceps, across the back of the arms. And then after we do this, then we'll go into some specific forearm stuff. But each time you're in control of how much pressure you're putting across that movement and where it goes on the back of the arm. Keep going. We'll do 7 or 8 more here. What this looks like is if my hand is here, I'm rolling it all the way along the back side of the arm, up into the tricep, and then the back of the shoulder would be here. So we're hitting that entire chain from tricep down into the wrist extensors. Those are the muscles that help pull your fingers up towards your nose. In just a second, switch sides. So before I was doing my right arm. To review the starting position, go into the all fours position. I'm going to be doing my left now. So I bring my right arm out over to my right side. Left hand goes on the back of the foam roller. And then go back and forth. Play around with the foam roller position too. You might feel that it feels better to have it at an angle. Maybe it feels good to be parallel with the mat or the ground. Maybe you can try different versions of each one. The more I angle it, the more I can get it into my side body and my lats. The more straight the foam roller is, the more I can really hit the back of the triceps. Let's go 3 more here. 2 more. Last one. Excellent. So for the next movement, grab the chair, go to the table, whatever you need. You can even do this on the ground. For video purposes, I think it's best to show it on a chair or something similar. And what you're going to do is put the foam roller aside, grab the chair and the soft tissue ball. I am going to start on my right side. And we're going to go back to the bottom part of that tricep. So the tricep helps kick the arm out straight. It's the muscle back here. We're going to be working, if there's the elbow, 2 or 3 inches up right there. From that position, I take the ball right almost at that 2 or 3 inches above the elbow. My left hand then goes on top of it, giving some pressure. And then you're just going to roll back and forth, up and down, small circles, whatever feels good. For me, hitting a little bit more on the outside of the tricep. So here's the inside of my elbow, the outside, if I'm over there on the ball, that feels really nice. With this movement, we're just going to do 5 back and forth motions to the arm. Give as much or as little pressure into the ball as you'd like. From the side view, you can see as I go out straight, I'm engaging the tricep, and then as I pull back up, I'm putting pressure into the ball, not letting go of that. Let's go 2 more here. Last one, and then switch sides. Once again, elbow 2 to 3 inches up, kind of in that area where the tricep muscle belly is turning into the tendon. If you're having trouble keeping the ball in one spot or you want to add more pressure, bring a hand over the ball and then roll back and forth. Small circles if you'd like. And this should feel pretty good. If you want to turn your body and add in some shoulder rotation there, feel free. If you want to take it higher up into the tricep muscle belly, that's fine too. Find a point of tension Put pressure into the ball and then go back and forth. Ooh, that feels good. As I straighten it out, it starts to feel pretty intense. 2 more. Last one. Good. And then shake out your arms, do whatever you need to do. We've got 2 more big movements today, and then we'll finish off with a final plank motion at the end. So just alternating back and forth. I did my right tricep, then left tricep. Now I'm gonna do the right side, the back of the forearm. And that's the wrist extensors they're called. They help pull your hand up that way. To do this, go back to the table, chair, whatever you're working on, and then bring the ball on the other side of your elbow, and you're just gonna roll back and forth along the length of the tendons on the back side of the forearm that feed into the wrist and hand. You might have to turn your body a little bit more to really hit those outer tendons. That's fine, whatever you need to do. What I mean by that, from this angle, if I'm just here, the bone almost gets in the way. So what I have to do is turn my thumb down a bit more, and then I can really hit those outer tendons. Once again, I like to give pressure from my top hand because that helps keep the ball in place and it adds a bit more positive stress on the movement. You'll probably notice more of that good sensation near the elbow, and then as you work your way down, that changes. And the reason is that you have these big muscle bellies here, they're called, and then they taper down into tendons, and then that's what allows you to move your hands. So find a point of tension, put pressure into the ball, and then just go back and forth with your wrist. I like to do it as I'm curling and uncurling. So you can see I bring my fingers in, curl all the way up, relax and uncurl. It's almost like I'm doing my wrist, thumb, early fingers, and then all the way out on the fingers. 5 more here. 4, 3, well, that's a good spot. 2, last one. And then switch sides. So I was just doing the right back side of the arm. Now I'm gonna go do the same thing on the left. Once again, start with that general movement. I'm working from almost the elbow, those points where you can see, if I curl my wrist back, you can see all the muscles attached right up through here. So I'm going from there down close to the wrist. And this is just general movement at first. That question always comes up with, well, why is my left side feeling more tight than the right? And those answers could be anything from what hand you use more at work, which arm and hand you use to pick up your child, the position that you're in the car when you're driving and using the steering wheel. I mean, there's so many factors, so we have to take all those in, and I say we have to cluster the findings. Okay, once you found a point of tension, once again, we are curling and then slowly uncurling. Back and forth along a point that feels good on the back side of the arm. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. Put the ball in chair or whatever you're using aside. And then from here, we started on the right side, so I'm going back to the right. And what I'm gonna do is bring my wrist down and it's straight out. And then I'm taking my left hand over the top of the wrist, almost as if I'm grabbing on my knuckles. I want you to stretch and then relax away. So I'm stretching out straight and relax. I'm gonna show that from the side again, but you can get started, where each time I'm pulling out straight and getting max length across there, and then I just bend my elbow and relax. You could think about it as just as when you floss your teeth, there's this back and forth movement across the whole chain. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're taking tension off and then we're stretching the tension on. 3 more, 2 more, last one, and then switch sides. With this last movement on this side, once again, thumb in, wrist down, grab onto the knuckles, straighten out, and then relax off. Keep going here, on and off. If it hurts to have your thumb in there, you can just bring your hand out straight. This should feel like a good stretch, and I don't want it to feel like it's doing anything negative after we did that work on the back of the arm. We have 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, last one. And then shake your wrist out again if you need to put different stress or pressure the other way. That's very natural when it comes to the wrists. The last movement today is going to be a fairly big motion, and you can do it 2 different ways. So it's going to be a full plank, and then we're going to do 3 rounds of 3 taps on each side. What it looks like here is I'm in a full plank position. Now the option is also you can go down to your knees if the full plank is too much at any point. From the full plank, with my left arm, I'm reaching out above my right hand and then back, up straight ahead, and then out to the side. That's 1, and then we have 2 more of those. So we're gonna do 3 on each side total. Let's get started. Up, ahead, out to the side, 2 more there, up, pull your core in, 1 more on the left, reach, 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 and then switch sides. So now my right arm goes up over my left hand and then straight up overhead and then out to the side. 1, 2, 3, last one here. 1, 2, 3. Whew. Nice work today. We incorporated some new movements for the backside of the wrist, for the tricep area. And then also we brought it together with this full shoulder to wrist connection plank that really challenged our core at the end. So thank you for joining, and I will see you on the next video.